Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
It is time to play.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Let's go!
A shot of entertainment to the head.
No doubt.
Sit back, relax,
Put your drinks up!
and enjoy the entertainment.
Okay.
Now we come to the payoff.
Let's rock.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Everett Lee Show, Slammin' Thursday edition, right here on Facebook.com/TheEverettLee and on Twitch.tv/TheEverettLee. Two platforms streaming at the same time, as always. And I'm happy to be joined, as always, my co-host. He is the Chris Rose, baby. How you doing, Chris?
I'm having a fine night. I'm relaxed. I'm ready to go. It's been a slow and cold week up here in Corbin, Kentucky, but overall, pretty good day.
That's great. That's great. It's been kind of cool here in Daytona Beach. It's kind of, the wind chill, man, cut right through you like butter. But other than that, temperature's been kind of low. And I guess when the rain came in this past couple days, it brought in that cold wind and kind of chilled things out here in the Sunshine State. And it probably will do it again next week when it gets close to Christmas. Dude, we're like 1 week away from Christmas. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's creeping up on us. It's been a fast year. I'm ready for Christmas, ready to get it over with, start of 2020.
Mm-hmm. I am too. You get all your Christmas shopping done?
No, I'm a last-minute kind of guy, so I'll be starting that tomorrow.
Yeah, I am too. I've been trying to make sure I get some last minute things for the family and everything for Christmas. But I'll tell you, it's been crazy trying to find last minute Christmas shopping things. And I know a lot of people is running around trying to find that last minute gift for that special someone, friend, or family. And just be safe out there. Don't get too much in a rush. Take your time. Get to the store. Get what you need. And get home safely because your family and your friends love you. And we love you too. And talking about love, man, I'm gonna point the elephant out in the room, Chris. What the hell happened this past weekend in KCW? What the hell happened, man? I'm looking at my social media, and KCW is blowing up with you and Chris Sterling. What the hell happened, man? What the hell happened?
You know, I don't have a lot of friends in this business of wrestling. It's very, very, I could count them on one hand. And, I thought Chris Sterling was one of them. I did everything I could to help him throughout his run in KCW as the United States champion. And hopefully we can squash this. But, man, I got beat down. I got beat down hard, and it was out of nowhere. And I felt really emotional at the time. I'm sure Chris felt emotional at the time, and he took it out on me. And, you know, it's just a crazy situation right now that I'm in. But I'm looking forward to having, hopefully some good comes of this. Hopefully, pass it, but if not, he's going to get what I got Saturday night. But we'll see what happens, man. But, yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy situation right now.
Yeah,
I was banged up for about I was banged up. Man, I was banged up. I've healed up kind of quick now. But, man, it was emotionally and physically hurt that Sunday. It was crazy.
Yeah. I would say, man, after watching that video on Facebook there, after what happened during that fatal four-way for the United States Championship, that title which you once held, and I seen what happened, and things did get out of context and out of control, and that shouldn't have happened to you. But as you put out there on social media, everything's fine with the Chris Rose and Chris Sterling, so that's good to know. Everything's good, right?
You know what? It is. In my eyes, it's all right. Hopefully, in his eyes, it is, because we haven't really spoke. But I know Chris, he just let his temper get to him. Let his temper get to him, but I know he's back on track next year. I know we will.
Okay.
We'll get back on track, and we'll be the team that everybody wants to see as the champions.
Exactly.
And hopefully he can get past that, because I did. I tried to be at his side and let him keep the United States Championship. I'm supposed to be, I could have took that championship from him, but I helped my friend. That's what friends do.
Yes.
I helped him retain, but then he lost, and he's going to have to get over it, and we're going to have to move on with us and be the tag team champions. We're both just going to have to get over it.
Right.
It's crazy right now, man. It's a crazy situation I'm in. And I'm back full health, and everything's ready to go for 2020.
Excellent. I'm happy to hear that. I am happy to hear that. You're ready for the new year, and we're just a few weeks away from 2019 ending. What a hell of a year, man. All I got to say that, and I got to mention that I do want to thank everyone that's come on to the Everett Lee Show for 2019. All the guests that's jumped in and come on, guests that's come back a few times this year. It's been crazy for having a lot of guests and everything that's been going on for 2019. I'm thinking by the end of this month, to close out 2019 for the Everett Lee Show, there may be a montage video put out there of what's been happening, and just a look back recap of the Everett Lee Show for 2019. More news on that later to come. But talking about this past week, I want to talk about TLC, dude. A pay-per-view that was hardly put together and promoted, man. What are your thoughts on that, man?
TLC wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. The very first match of the night I really liked, the Revival and the New Day in the ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed that match. It was a good opener. I really liked how everything went in the match. Kofi Kingston did really well in the match. He was really the star of it. A good ending. I thought it was a great ladder match. Two great teams going at it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that match. Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, I mean, it was pretty good. I thought it was going to steal the show, but I believe that ladder match I was talking about stole the show.
Yeah.
But, man, there was a lot of good stuff on the show. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was just Bobby Lashley and Rusev didn't deliver in my eyes.
They never do. They never freaking do, dude. I'm serious. I am over this. I am over the storyline. I am over the storyline. I am over Rusev. I am over Bobby Lashley. I am in Lana Angle. I am over it. She cringe. I cringe when I hear Lana on the mic. I cringe that. I just they did not deliver. But I will say one thing, talking about the matches you already mentioned before, you were right. You were right about one match. And do you know which match I'm talking about? You just mentioned it.
Yeah, the ladder match.
Not the ladder match. You said this match would be net match of the night. And a lot of people...
Black and Buddy. Yeah.
Bingo. Yep, that's it. That's it. Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, man. That match was great. That was great. Aleister Black got busted open. You seen that shit, man?
Yeah, a lot of people did throughout the night. It was crazy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Aleister Black hurt his jaw. Suffered a facial injury. Yeah, it was a pretty good match. It was my second favorite of the night. I really enjoyed that match.
Yeah,
I did. It was the kick. Aleister Black does the Black Mass out of nowhere. I love how he does that.
Oh yeah,
And out of nowhere move kind of KO or a super kick or something like that. I really like the Black Mass. It's really good, man. I really enjoyed these two guys. I was looking forward to the match, and yeah, it delivered.
Yes, it did.
Really like to see these go at it again.
Yeah, I definitely like to see him go at it again, man. They delivered, and you called it, man. That's here lately. When you see a match, when you see it on the card, on a pay-per-view, you've been 99.9% correct on what match is match of the night. You're like, that's match of the night. You said that a couple weeks ago. You said that a couple weeks ago when we talked about TLC, dude. And I sat down and watched it. And I watched it. They went back and forth. Great match, great spots. I loved when Aleister was hung up in the damn turnbuckle and Buddy was just kicking the shit out of him, man. And after the match in the Black Mass out of nowhere, I said to myself, I said, damn, Chris is right. He was spot on this one, man. Yeah, this was the match, and people were buzzing about it on Twitter. They said that was the match. The ladder match, opening match, that was great too. That was great too, man. There were so many great spots in that match, so many, man, and especially the finish of that match. Was that crazy? You had Kofi hanging from that ladder there and using the belts to off. Yeah, that was great, and him capturing it, because I thought the Revival. At one point, did you think the Revival was going to get these tag titles?
Yes. They told a great story, both teams. Yeah, like I mentioned, that finish of the ladder match was really good with Kofi Kingston. He was definitely the star of the match. I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah. Definitely, most definitely, man. I definitely agree with you right there on that. And hell, even Alice, the first two matches were great, and then it seemed like things kind of started dipping off there. As you said, Rusev, Bobby Lashley didn't deliver. I was shocked about this one, man. The Miz and Bray Wyatt. We did not get the Fiend. We got Bray Wyatt, and the crowd was into it. The crowd was like, you know what? Okay, they were into it, and it was just Bray Wyatt. I love that. What was your thoughts when you just saw Bray Wyatt come out, not the Fiend?
I get the crowd liked it, but I really didn't like it, honestly.
No?
Really wish the Fiend. No, I didn't like it. I liked seeing the Fiend. And I wasn't into this, really. Maybe where it was on the card, I don't know, but yeah, it wasn't one of my favorite Bray Wyatt or Miz matches. It was very, very short, and really wish it would have been for the championship. But
Yes.
I mean, it was pretty cool to see, I guess, Bray Wyatt being just him and not the Fiend. But I'd really like to see the Fiend. That's one of the most over characters in the company. You need to capitalize and use them whenever you can. But they just wanted to do something different that night. And some people loved it, some people hated it, and I just didn't really. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now the ending and the surprise with the return of Daniel Bryan coming back with the 2011, 2012 look that Daniel Bryan had back during that time there. That was interesting. Was that not?
Yeah, I like that. All he has to do is clean shave now, and he'll be back to that Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see him with hair. I remember watching him a lot during that time, and also Ring of Honor when he had short hair as well. I remember watching Daniel Bryan in those days. It was really good.
It was.
It was really good to see him back. Daniel Bryan's a great WWE wrestler, superstar. Great to see him back, and it would more than likely be The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. That's the prediction I have right now.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to that match again. Hopefully no red lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I was thinking, okay, maybe he's not done with the Miz either. Maybe they may do a triple threat. The Miz versus Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. They may do that.
They could do that. You know, The Miz has been in a feud with Bray Wyatt as of late. But we'll see what happens. I mean, Miz could be in the match. Miz could very well be in it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors going on about the Rumble. One in particular, I have to go off topic from TLC because this is on my mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Edge is cleared for an in-ring return, is what I heard.
Who?
Edge is cleared for an in-ring return for WWE.
Oh, yeah. I heard about that. What do you... So you're thinking we may see the Rated R Superstar come back?
Yes, I think it'll be the Rumble, and that's my prediction.
Okay.
I had to make that of our TLC review because it was on my mind, and I wanted to get it out there because he's one of the big reasons I got into the wrestling industry.
Okay.
So I really like Edge. I hope to see him back inside where he belongs, the square circle, and I hope it's at the Rumble because one of my favorite Rumbles was an Edge returned and won.
Yeah.
2010. I believe it was 2010 or 2009. I forgot.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I know what you're talking about. I remember that when he came back, and that was something right there back in the day. That definitely was.
Yeah, he eliminated. So they was tag team champions and whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
People go back and watch 2009, 2010 on the network, and you'll find that out. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoy Edge, and hopefully he comes back, man. Hopefully he comes back. And if CM Punk don't come back, that would be a good feud for Seth Rollins. It would be Edge.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would be a good one for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What did you think of the main event? What did you think of the main event on TLC?
The main event, I wish Bray Wyatt and The Miz would have closed out the pay-per-view. I wish they would have closed it out. And this match should have been in the middle, and they shouldn't have closed it out. But I understand, they're really trying to push women's wrestling. They're trying to push that out there and everything like that. But this match was sloppy. There were so many spots here and there that just the chair shots, swinging the chair to just I didn't enjoy it. I mean, they beat each other all outside the ring there. I mean, botched spots here and there and stuff. And then finally, towards the end, they decide to come up, go after the tag titles. And Kabuki Warriors winning that.
Yeah. This is probably an unpopular opinion for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But women cannot take that kind of punishment in a TLC match like the men can, and you could tell that some of them was getting hurt, and they just can't deliver a match like that at a main event caliber yet.
Right.
I mean, I think that, in my opinion, Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin should have closed the show. That's my opinion, because of Roman Reigns, one of the biggest stars in the company, and there was a story behind all this. Baron Corbin, one of the biggest bad guys in the company.
Yeah.
I think that last match, this match should have been like the first one to start the show off with one of those kind of matches. Or in the middle, I agree with you, or in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't really into this match at all, to be honest with you. I think the best two matches was the first and second one. The ladder match and Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. That was the first two.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns was too early on the card. I was surprised they was so early. They was like third or fourth. I was really surprised about that. I really thought they should have been way down the card.
Yeah.
Make them wait for that match. But, overall, not the worst pay-per-view in the world, but not the greatest. But I enjoyed watching some wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah, the first two matches was great. And then I did like the Bray Wyatt Miz match with the return of Daniel Bryan, because there's more to come out of that story right there. All in all, I mean, on a scale 1 to 5, I give this a 2, honestly, because they didn't really build this. They just wanted to breeze. It felt like to me they wanted to breeze through it and try to get to the Royal Rumble. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to let's just get through this, close out the year, and let's start 2020 with the Royal Rumble and build towards WrestleMania, the road to WrestleMania. That's how I felt about this. So I give it a 2.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.5. It's not. I don't think they should have even had this pay-per-view. I think they should just be building to the Rumble. I don't know. There's no reason to have a pay-per-view like this if you're not going to tell any storylines or anything. If you're just going to make the people purchase it on the network or, subscribe to the network just to watch this for just gimmicks like TLC matches, tables, ladders, and chairs. I mean, people want a storyline to see one of those matches. You don't just put a match out there for anybody.
Right.
I mean, you're supposed to have a storyline and then blow off the TLC match. That's why the pay-per-views like TLC and Hell in a Cell don't get watched as much, because it's just over. It's just the same old thing. There's no storyline leading to a match like this. No real rivalry.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, a waste of stuff to put out there. Just build to the Rumble. Make a good build to the Rumble, because that's a historic pay-per-view, and people want to see a good storyline. Just build it all the way to the Rumble.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't like I don't like having so many pay-per-views a year.
Yeah.
That's one good thing about AEW. They're only going to have about 4 a year.
Right.
And WWE to go back to not having so much, stuff going on. Less is more.
Exactly. Yeah, Royal Rumble is one of those big four out of the year for WWE. I believe it's Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series are supposed to be the big four out of the WWE pay-per-views every year. And yeah, they whip through this. They want to get to the Royal Rumble because that's all they want. They want to get to the Royal Rumble and get ready to build towards their second big four pay-per-view, which is WrestleMania 36. So that's basically what they want to do. Want to give a shout out to Joe Hamble in the chat. He says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Joe? Thank you for viewing and listening tonight to Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show with Everett Lee and the Chris Rose." Now, TLC, we're done with that. Royal Rumble coming out next month. We'll be talking more about that next month when it gets closer. When it definitely does. When that pay-per-view gets closer there. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to finding out this year or next year for 2020 with the Royal Rumble who's going to be in it. You got the men's Royal Rumble, you got the women's Royal Rumble. You're going to have 15 SmackDown superstars, 15 Raw superstars, 15 NXT superstars. And since we're talking about Royal Rumble, since we mentioned that, early predictions, we're talking about an NXT superstar actually winning the Royal Rumble. I believe you mentioned this to me before. You said Velveteen Dream. Real quick, Joe Hamble says, "The Chris Rose, baby."
Hello, Joe. Good to see you in the chat room again.
Excellent. Didn't you say Velveteen Dream was your pick for the Royal Rumble?
No, I don't think it would be him, which I wouldn't mind that.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't remember picking an NXT superstar to win the Rumble, but if you don't want to pick right now,
yeah, let's just throw that out there and see how this changes within the next month, man. Let's go ahead and let's throw our picks out there to see how that happens. I already got my pick
for the Royal Rumble. What's your pick?
My pick, believe it or not, there's a twist to it. Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
I'd like to see Daniel Bryan win a Rumble again. Or he has never won a Rumble, has he?
Nope. He hasn't. This guy's hot. Dan, WWE better not freaking screw this up because I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I want to throw this out here real quick, Chris. I want to throw this out here. And Joe says, Tommaso Ciampa or CM Punk? Good guesses right there. Good guesses. I'm going to throw the show number up, man. Let's try to get some calls in tonight right here. I want to know who your pick is for the 2020 Royal Rumble this year. 386-206-1595. Give me a call. Give us a call. And you want to mention that right there? That is the discussion and the talk right there. Joe in the chat says, one thing's missing on Daniel Bryan's resume. That's true. That is true. That's his one thing that's missing right there. He's never won a Royal Rumble. Give it to the guy, damn it, because he's in a good story right now with The Fiend. Maybe Daniel Bryan could beat The Fiend. Who knows?
I don't know. I don't think Daniel Bryan will be in the Royal Rumble. I think he'll be against The Fiend at the Rumble in the championship match.
Yes.
That's my opinion. I think he'll be in that match. Kevin Owens would be a good pick to win the Royal Rumble.
Another good pick.
There's not a lot of predictions I can do right now. It's so early. But I'm going to pick Kevin Owens. I think he's doing really good right now on Raw. And Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania would be a match I'd watch.
Oh, hell yeah. Stunner versus the F5. I like to see that. Sign me up. Sign me up. I'm going to sit back and have...
Drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
To watch that right there.
That's a prediction. That could very well happen. And I'm going to go with Kevin Owens. And if he wins, he's going to challenge the Beast, Brock Lesnar, at WrestleMania.
Okay. Joe says Brian is absolutely on fire again, and he agrees that he and The Fiend will be battling for the belt. I agree right there. They're going to be battling, man. Why not? Why not? Give this guy a win and let him go after The Fiend, because that... I mean, come on. Miz is going to have to take some time off, man. I mean, he's knocked up Maurice again, for God's sakes. He's going to have to take some time off, man, to be a father. And of course, maybe the Fiend will beat his ass senseless, and you won't see Miz for a while because he's going to go off, film more episodes of Mr. and Ms., Ms. and Mrs., whatever the hell. And it's Daniel Bryan is going to jump in that spot there and go after the Fiend right there. You're going to have the Yes Movement versus the Firefly Funhouse right there. That's my guess. That's my guess right there.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of the Royal Rumble championship matches.
Yeah.
WWE Championship.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan is a unique performer. He's a unique wrestler, unique character. He's just one of those guys who just connects with the crowd and has that move set to do it. It's he's just really good, man. And yeah, I'll do like him changing his look up again, going back to his 2011, 2012, like you was saying, his persona. I really enjoy it. Really do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. I love that. I love that. I love that the world's toughest vegan. Maybe we'll see that again. Right?
Yeah. He is definitely a vegan. He had a really good heel persona, being the Earth preserver and all that jazz, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Daniel Bryan and Fiend build up.
Yeah, I am. I am too. I am too, man. I definitely am. What happened today, on this day, on December 19th, in wrestling? What happened? Do you want to know what happened, Chris?
What's that?
Tell you what happened. I don't know if you followed a lot of WCW, though, but WCW presented Starrcade from the MCI Center, Washington, D.C., where about 8,582 were in attendance, with 145,000 watching at home on pay-per-view. I was one of those watching at home on pay-per-view. It revising a trend from the previous year. It was actually lower than the previous month's pay-per-view Mayhem with 200,000 buys. It was also the third of the buys of Starrcade 1998 with 100,000 buys right there. Now, this show right here, let me refresh your memory if you remember this pay-per-view in 1999, Starrcade 1999, was known for the infamous Goldberg kick to Bret Hart's head that would basically end his career. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's the only thing I remember from this pay-per-view.
Yeah, I remember a lot of this stuff. I remember when I first saw that, when I was watching that match right there, I was like, holy shit. It looked like he jawed him. I mean, he rung his bell there, and he did, because Bret Hart retired, and his career was over right after that right there. It was pretty much done, but the card a lot of the card, I remember this. I was laughing and remember just enjoying watching a lot of this on the card here. You had Big Vito and Johnny the Bull. They defeated Disco Inferno and Lash LaRox, which I don't remember. Joe said you remember that well. You remember this pay-per-view.
It's Lash LaRue.
Lash LaRue? Okay.
Yeah.
You see, this has been, 20 years? How am I supposed to remember this? I had to look it up, man. I had to look it up. I'm old, okay? I'm old.
I mean, I've heard of this guy, but I've never watched this match, I don't think. I don't know if I've watched a lot of Starrcade 99 on here as I'm reading through the notes.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember really is that Bret Hart and Goldberg match right off the top of my head right now. It's been a long time since I've seen this pay-per-view.
You got the network, right?
I do have the network, but when I do watch wrestling on there, I really don't go back to this era of WCW.
I would go back just to look, man, because it's interesting to see how the matches and what was hot and stuff, because you're gonna be like, wow. I mean, you had Alundra Blaze, who was Medusa in WCW. She defeated Evan Courageous. I remember Evan Courageous. He was with Shannon Moore and Jamie Noble as that boy band ripoff 3 Count. Remember 3 Count?
Yeah, well, that was the era when that stuff was at its peak as boy band wise.
Yes.
So, yeah, they was trying to do something right there. That was just
yes,
crazy stuff, man. That was just,
It was. Joe mentioned one of the matches here, the Powerbomb match between Kevin Nash and Sid Vicious. Yawn. That was on here. Yeah, that was on here, man. That match was on here. Who was, the bigger power, who could do the power bomb. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off there, but
that's fine.
Chris Benoit and Jeff Jarrett probably be a good match. I think I've watched that before, but can't really remember. I feel like that would be a good match.
Yeah. Chris Benoit defeated Jeff Jarrett in a ladder match to win the WCW United States Championship. And Joe on the chat says, I'm a JB Noble boy. You better remember it. And then Jeff Jarrett wrestled twice. If you look at this card here, he defeated Dustin Rhodes in a bunkhouse brawl match. I'm going to have to go back and watch this pay-per-view here just to refresh my memory and stuff. Diamond Al Page. What's that?
It's crazy that Dustin Rhodes is on Starrcade 99 and now he's in AEW. It's just crazy how the wrestling works sometimes.
Yeah. You'll laugh at this one here. Diamond Dallas Page defeated David Flair in a crowbar on the match pole. Crowbar on a pole match.
Booking 1999, everything's on a pole.
Yeah. And then Vampiro, he defeated Steve Williams by disqualification, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and then he turned around and defeated Oklahoma. Remember Oklahoma? He was the ripoff of JR.
Yeah, Jim Ross rib, yeah. Who booked this shit, W? Who booked this shit?
Vampiro! Oh my God, he broke me in half! Barbecue sauce! Yeah, Oklahoma character.
Jim Ross. Yep.
Yeah, Vince Russo booked this match, man. This is Vince Russo all over it. Check this out. Norman Smiley. I like Norman Smiley as the WCW Hardcore Champion. Screaming Norman. That was so funny, man. He defeated Ming to retain the WCW Hardcore Championship. I remember that.
Really, really entertaining wrestler, Norman Smiley, and that's why he is one of the trainers at the WWE Performance Center. I mean, he knows his stuff. He was very entertaining as a hardcore champion. He really was.
Yeah, he was, man. He was entertaining. He was. I loved it. I loved how he'd come out there we're wearing a football helmet and with shoulder pads and stuff, and by the end of the match he'd be off and stuff. The big wiggle, Norman Smiley. That was great.
Very, very. He put shoulder pads and all and everything. Just everything was really good. He did that perfectly. That was the best stuff of his career.
Yeah.
In ring.
Yeah.
Not far.
Yeah, he was a great worker, man. I think he was, to me, Norman Smiley. He was one of those underrated workers there because he was great. He had a great in-ring style, and I wish they would have booked him more because I would have liked to seen him went up against someone that was another great in-ring talent, such as Malenko or Benoit at that time.
Yeah, I mean, Norman Smiley was like a Santino or a Eugene, just one of those over-the-top, crazy characters, and who could work, who was legit in the ring. If Norman Smiley wanted to put you in the hold and you couldn't get out of it, he could do that. I mean, Norman Smiley was legit. But he also had a crazy personality and charisma like no other.
Oh, yeah.
You love guys in the locker room.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a great charisma, man. He did. He had a great one, man, and I wish that was great. He made it work, man. He made it work. He was given something, and he's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with it, and he ran with it. And if we didn't remember it, we would be talking about it right now, right?
Oh yeah. I definitely do remember some of that, and yeah, Norman Smiley, man, he was very entertaining, entertaining. His crazy scream he did, everything was freaking different. I mean, how he dressed as a football player, it was really good, man. It was really, really good.
It was really, really great. I loved it. I definitely loved it. Sting defeated this whole total package Lex Luger by disqualification. And then, of course, you had Creative Control, Jannard and Patrick. I don't know who the hell they were. And Kurt Hennig, they defeated Harlem Heat and Midnight, which I don't remember that. Now, like we talked about, Bret Hart, he defeated Goldberg in a no disqualification match to retain the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And that's the match right there where Goldberg did the kick and he rang Bret Hart's bell. And then after that, right there, months later, Bret Hart had to retire. And Bret Hart, from what I understand, to this day is still pissed at Goldberg for doing that because Goldberg never said he was sorry.
Well, I mean, it's just one of those situations where it's just a bad bump, and I haven't really heard a lot about Bret Hart these days on how he feels about it. I'm sure he's not happy about it because Bret Hart was still going strong in that era, and yeah, it's just crazy. It's one of those crazy situations, and yeah, it was not a good night for WCW and going forward. Losing Bret the Hitman Hart. Yeah, Bret Hart wears his heart on his sleeve his whole career. He takes things personal.
Yeah, he does.
And that's documented. And yeah, I could see him still having some. No, there's no love lost between those two guys. To say.
Yeah, there's none. There's none. There's none. And like you said, those viewing right now and those watching, you can always go back on the WWE Network and watch Starrcade 99 right here, and you can draw your own conclusion about this card right here that we just talked about, because it's on this day, on December 19th, 1999, Starrcade 99 happened, and just a crazy card. And like you said, Chris, yeah, it was basically at the hype of where WCW was going, and that was one way to go, was down. Joe in the chat says a couple things here. Speaking of Jeff Jarrett, what are you guys' thoughts on him? And Bret Hart might have had 7 or 8 more years or not for that injury, too. He probably would have. Jeff Jarrett, my thoughts on him. I believe what he's doing or what he's trying to do behind the scenes. I'm not really sure, because he's working behind the scenes with WWE as we speak. He's been working with, I think, Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I think he's, whatever he's doing, he's great. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't really know what he's doing backstage. I mean, whatever he's doing, it's great. If he's working with talent, that's great. And, I mean, his career speaks for itself. What are your thoughts on Jeff Jarrett as of now?
Well, I mean, Jeff Jarrett's a WWE legend. He is a Hall of Famer. Did great things in TNA, and now he's in WWE. He was also in WCW, but he's in WWE now, and I think, I really don't know his position there, but hopefully he's doing really good. I don't have anything bad to say about Jeff Jarrett. He was always entertaining to me, but
yeah,
he's known for the guy in the 90s to wear that shitty gear. It was very bad. But, man, I mean, he was entertaining, and I really enjoyed Jeff Jarrett. One of his best matches of his career was with Shawn Michaels in 95 or 96, I believe. It was a really good match.
Yes, the Intercontinental Championship match.
Yeah, Jeff Jarrett's great.
Yeah. What about the good housekeeping match with China?
Yeah. Him and China had a lot of matches together, and man, right off the bat, I don't really remember them, but I remember them two locking up and having some matches. But I'm not the biggest follower of Jeff Jarrett, but I know who he is. I know the guy. I don't know him personally, but I know Jeff Jarrett. I know that he is a legend, and he did a lot of good things in the wrestling business, and hopefully remembered good when he's done in the business.
Yep. Yeah. Deathmatch Wrestle podcast on Twitch right here. Want to give a shout out to him, man. He's asking, when did this happen, Jeff Jarrett in WWE? It happened last year, I believe. It happened last year, not long ago. Last year it happened. Him jumping in, joining behind the scenes. Refresh my memory. Have we talked about video games, wrestling video games before? We did, right? In the past?
We've talked briefly when WWE came out and they had those glitches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But,
we
I don't remember talking about.
Okay. Because also too on this day too, THQ filed for bankruptcy. I want to throw this. I thought this was interesting. THQ. If everyone is watching and listening, THQ. You're familiar with THQ. THQ is responsible for making the 2K games. WWE, like SmackDown versus Raw versus SmackDown versus ECW, those type of video games on the PlayStation and any other console back in the day. I believe Xbox. Well, they officially on this day filed bankruptcy because they were founded in 1999 by LGN co-founder Jack Freeman. Toy headquarters not only published video games, but it was for the first few years they handled action figures and other toys until 1994 when they decided to turn their focus full-time into video games. In 1999, THQ would acquire the license publishing for WWE games. And at the height of the company's popularity, THQ was making about $1 billion. Can you believe that, Chris? You're making $1 billion revenue and turning in about a $68 million profit on video games, wrestling video games, especially during the hype of the Attitude Era right there. God dang, man. You come out with a freaking wrestling game, slap WWE on it, THQ, and it's worth about $40-50 at that time. Damn, you got my money because I know that. But when the recession hit the studio, it hit it hard, and many of the big budget games were undersold, and their kids games barely sold on the market, and it turned to free online games. So basically, they went bankrupt. And if anyone remembers or any fans of the wrestling games like the WWE 2K games, 2K14, WWE 2K14 had a lot of the last elements of what THQ had. And 2K15 was totally different because I forget who acquired the rights to THQ, but when they acquired it, they basically, you had no elements of THQ. WWE 2K14, you can find it for PS3 or Xbox 360 or Xbox, whatever it is, not Xbox One, but the one before the 360. You'll be able to get that game for it, and you can see what was the last remnants of THQ's influence on those games, though. But ain't that interesting, man, how a video game company comes in and basically generates $1 billion in revenue and turning about a $68 million in profit? You'd be in damn good business, would you not?
Yeah. A lot of video game companies are in great business. Video games are all over the place these days.
Yeah.
All over the place.
They are. Joe says in the chat on Facebook here, he loves the old SmackDown vs. Raw games. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain is my favorite. That was one of my favorites too. I had a great roster that year for that video game. What was one of your favorites? Refresh my memory if you told me you.
I like SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Okay.
It's, probably one of my favorite ones. I like the N64 WCW games, WCW NWO World Tour. There's a lot of WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good WWE wrestling games.
Uh-huh.
And WCW. I mean, I haven't played one since 2K17.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that one, 17 and 16.
2K,
but
yeah.
before that, I didn't play one. I played SmackDown vs. Raw 07 and 09, and didn't play one again until 16 and then 17, and now I haven't got any again. So,
yeah,
very inconsistent with wrestling games. But yeah, I enjoy them though whenever I do buy them.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy them. I still have WWE 2K16 and 17. I do fire up 17, but I never did get 18 and 19. I never did get those because I got to the point after this year with 20 and all the bugs and everything. I thought that this was funny because of all the bugs and mischief and mayhem that we talked about with WWE 2K20, and then they decide to release DLC for it. And it's like, yeah, you can have this DLC for it. And everyone's like, yeah, that's great. Fix the damn game. Fix the freaking game. We don't care about the freaking DLC. Fix the damn game. And they just didn't know how to do it. And then there was a rumor going around, I haven't really looked into it, that they're not even going to do a WWE 2K21 next year because of how bad 2K20 is. And a lot of people said, you know what, stick to 19, especially on PC, because you can get the mods for it and you can do what you want. And that's the way to go. That would be the way to go. I get 2K19 on PC, get the mods, add whoever the hell I want, and make it great. And that's the way I would go. That'd definitely be the way I'd go.
Yeah, man. The only video game I play is Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. That's the only two games I really play, man. Oh, I'm just not into the. I don't know. I don't know why. I just can't. No, I just prefer those two games more than any other ones.
No, definitely. I that's your take on it. Joe in the chat on Facebook says he loves 2K17 as well, and he says that need to create the Chris Rose on one of the new games, and he do love 2K19. Did you ever create yourself on one of those games? I want to ask you. Throw you on the spot here.
Yeah, about every one I've ever played, I've created myself. Oh yeah, that's the first person I create. But if anybody else other than me wants to create me, if you do, screenshot, message me on Facebook, send me a picture.
I'd love to see that. Anyone that can create the Chris Rose, screenshot it. Now 16 or 17 had the great thing with the face scan. I think it was 16. They actually got it and nailed it down right. Better than what they did on 15. I did the face scan, and I created a wrestler and did a face scan, and it was funny, man. I had myself all jacked up like Hulk Hogan, 24-inch Python's brother, and I'm sitting there doing like the career mode. It was great. Did you ever do the face scan thing? It was a little complicated because you had to get the app, you had to download it, go on the website and upload it, and then download it on the creative community. It was just a mess. But once you get the final thing, you can do whatever the hell you wanted with it. Did you ever try that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember like the outcome of it and stuff, but I've done the face scan also in the NBA game. It is hard to do. Mm-hmm. It took me quite a bit of time to do it.
Right. Yeah, I thought that was neat. One of the cool things about it, because you're just like, oh, this is what I look like in a video game. And Joe in the chat says he always creates my character the big ticket. Nice. Excellent. Well, we're at the top of the hour, Chris. I say let's break and then come back and let's talk about what's happening on the wrestling dirt sheets. Talk about this week's NXT and AEW, and then we will end up, riding off to the sunset, though. But before we do, I want to thank everyone.
And Monday Night Raw.
Yes, Monday Night Raw. We'll throw that in there too, man. I have some thoughts on that. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Follow them on podcastcity.net, Facebook, Podcast City Network. Give a thumbs up and a like. And we just broke Podcast City Network on Facebook. Just broke over 500 likes. So push us more with the likes right there on Podcast City Network on Facebook. And send them a tweet over on Podcast City that's screwing up at Podcast City Net, and follow them on YouTube, Podcast City Network. So you can watch video podcasts such as the Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Final Score, and much, much more podcast on Podcast City Network, YouTube, and follow them on Twitch. And you can follow more Everett Lee on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, and on Twitter at The Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio portions of this podcast and previous release podcasts you can find on the YouTube channel, Everett Lee Show, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and podbeam.com/Everett Lee Show. So we're going to hit an intermission. We will be right back after this.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography, and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel, and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of The Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like The Everett Lee Show on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, Twitter, at The Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network, we have a lot of great shows on all of our great social media outlets. PodcastCity.net.
Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
Only on Podcast City Network. You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
What are your thoughts on Monday Night Raw?
Just like we've been saying for months, weeks now, Monday Night Raw has just not been the best.
No, it hasn't.
Not been the best. I started the show off with Seth, and, him being a heel is great and all, but, I just didn't really enjoy Raw that much, man. I didn't enjoy it. Now the Viking Raiders and OC had another match, but I can't get into the OC anymore. I can't get into them. I don't know why. I just can't get into the OC. I was just not interested in the show as a whole.
Yeah.
The gauntlet match was so long. And at the end of the gauntlet match, there wasn't really a winner.
No, there wasn't.
There was no winner.
No.
We watched all that for nothing.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Really upset. It made me not want to watch the rest of the show. I couldn't really get into Randy Orton and AJ Styles, the main event. Couldn't even get into it just because of the gauntlet match. All of that, all of those guys busting their ass in that match to get nothing.
Exactly. Like Joe says in the chat here, he says that he loves Rollins as a heel, but he's not feeling him in the Authors of Pain. And he says they need to form a super heel stable with Rollins and Styles and some more guys.
I like the AOP with Rollins. I do. I like the AOP with Rollins, but there's just something missing right now from all of this on Raw. They need a champion that will be there every week. I like Brock Lesnar, but Lesnar does equal ratings when he's on there. He needs to be on the show.
Yeah.
They need to have a champion. They need to have someone to lead the ship. And you can't lead the ship without the king can't be the king of whatever without his crown. There's no leader on Raw.
There's not. Raw. I don't really watch it, not unless I feel that there's something that they're going to touch on, because I catch the highlights. I go back, watch the highlights on YouTube. That's where I watch it and decide, okay, all right. I mean, I get a 30-minute highlight of what happened on Raw out of a 3-hour show, and it's not been doing that great. Even the TLC Fallout, that was not even great. That wasn't.
Yeah.
But Rollins.
And then you got. What was you gonna say, buddy?
Rollins is a heel. I'm glad it's happening, and I do like the AOP as his muscle, because they do his dirty work for him. He directs traffic, and they take out the orders. It makes them look strong too.
Yeah, and it makes Rollins look like the chicken shit heel. That's what you need to do. That's how you build a strong heel.
Yeah,
he just came off as a babyface, fighting all of his battles himself, and now he has other people doing it for him. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Bobby Lashley asked Lana to marry him, or Lana asked Bobby Lashley to marry her, which it was the complete opposite around, like you would normally do that. But yeah, that's kind of halfway interesting, because on December 30th, Raw, I heard they're doing the Lashley and Lana wedding.
Oh, God.
And in the past, WWE has delivered on the wedding stuff, and hopefully they do it on this one. I have a lot of faith in them to deliver it. But this angle, man, has not been the best, Lashley and Rusev. And their match their match should have been a tables, ladders, chairs match instead of just a tables match. And it probably would have been interesting, because they couldn't beat each other to death with anything, because they'll have to go through a table and the match will be over with. Like, they should have had a lot more to do. I mean, there should have been a lot. And I think Rusev should be angry that Lana's with him and not happy and a goofy person. Because somebody who lost a girl that looks like Lana should be pissed off.
I agree with you right there.
And it's just really weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Coming out wearing hats, shirts, and not taking it serious. It just don't make sense, man. It just don't make sense. And I'm like you, man. These two athletes, these two superstars deserve something better than what they're getting.
Exactly. They should deserve something better. They should deserve something better. It comes down to the stupid creative with John Moxley, aka former known as Dean Ambrose. He said it right. The guy said it right. These guys, you got 14 writers that don't know their, head. They got their head up their ass. They don't know what the hell's going on. They don't. Joe in the chat says Lesnar and ratings. You're right. The U.S. champ can be the focal point each week, but you need to have a focal point championship because the WWE championship is sitting in Brock Lesnar's home in Minnesota, South Dakota, wherever the hell he's at. And maybe if Rollins and AOP had one more with them, I see what you mean there. Yeah, but he does feel it will work. Struggling at the moment to enjoy, but he does think that it will be amazing. Whatever, probably the
last Rusev angle could work with other people, but not these two guys.
Nah.
When Lashley first came to WWE, he should have been put into a program with Brock Lesnar. That's why everybody wanted him to come in the first place.
Exactly. They didn't do it. They did not do it. They failed on that. And
they did. And they should have never split up Rusev and Lana in the first place back in a couple of years ago or whatever when they did the Rusev Day stuff.
Yeah.
They Lana and Rusev should still be together, and that meshed well when she spoke Russian, when she had the accent. That's when Lana was relevant, and that's when Rusev when they was dominant. But that's just what they do. They bring in a guy and make him really dominant at first, a guy who looks like that, and then they bring him down, and then they try to bring him back up again, and it's hard to do that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, Joe was referring to the U.S. title. It can't be the focal point. The WWE title needs to be big. Yes, it should, but it's not. It's not because Lesnar's sitting at home watching programming, going out shooting guns or doing whatever the hell he does. But that's basically, you got to have that championship. They did it a few years ago when he was Universal Champion. Brock Lesnar, Universal Champion. The IC Championship was the focal point, which was great because you got more eyes on it and more in. What they were doing with it made it more prestige than what they were doing before in the past with it. They were. But, you need to have at least one championship out there, and it looks like the U.S. Championship is going to be the focal point until someone comes and beats Lesnar, takes that title, and they're the man. They got the belt. They got the belt. Like forever. People were starting to forget about the Universal Championship. Oh, we have a Universal Champion? Yeah, Brock Lesnar. He's sitting at home drawing money because he does so many shows per year. It's in the contract. And then once Rollins, they took it off Lesnar and gave it to Rollins, and he brought it back, people started to remember what the hell that championship was. So, speaking of disappearing, I want to talk about Ronda Rousey. She's been gone since WrestleMania last year, or this year's WrestleMania 35. Chris, she lost the Raw Women's Championship in that triple threat match against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. Becky walked away with Becky 2 belts, with the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship. Money in the Bank, she lost that title to Charlotte, and then Charlotte lost it the same night with the cash-in from Bayley to get that championship. That belt stayed on SmackDown. Becky stayed on Raw because she's the Raw Women's Champion, and she's held the belt since Mania. Mania was what? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Just 8 months she's held on to that belt. She's held on to that belt as Raw Women's Champion. Now, here's my thing, man. I want to bring up about Stephanie McMahon confirmed this. I saw this on WrestlingInc.com. I thought it was interesting because they were talking about for a while. Triple H even mentioned it, man, about Ronda Rousey's return plan. Coming from WrestlingInc.com on this article here, it looked like Ronda Rousey will be returning to WWE soon. When? I've heard this before, but I thought this is funny here. I just throw this out here. Stephanie McMahon said, quote, out of a interview with Gimme Sports earlier that day when this was reported, Ronda will definitely be back. That is the plan. But as for now, I'm not sure where, and when. That tells me a lot. That definitely tells me a lot. Those who follow Total Divas, what's that?
I think she'll be at either the Royal Rumble or the Raw after the Rumble. Ronda Rousey will be back.
You think?
The WrestleMania.
You think? Because
championship match. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was on Total Divas, season 5 of Total Divas, that she basically, she said that she was in a rush for a return, but the thing is, with her, having that return, that she wanted to start a family with her, with her husband, and there's probably no timetable when she will be back. But I will tell you this, though. I will tell you this, that Ronda coming back, I do believe, and I've said this before, that Ronda Rousey will be back at the Royal Rumble, because she, out of the women's Royal Rumble, she's my pick to win the women's Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and face Becky Lynch and get that title back. Because I think I said this earlier this year, Chris, on the Retired Deleted Wrestling podcast that we used to do. I said that Ronda's going to come back at the Rumble. I said she's going to disappear for a while, take time off, come back at the Royal Rumble of 2020, go after Becky Lynch, defeat Becky at Mania, and retain that title and do another run with it because she still has 2 years on her contract. She still has 2 years on her contract.
Yeah, I would see. Yeah, I could see Ronda Rousey coming back and challenging Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. That's clearly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Joe even says,
Rousey
agrees with me. Ronda come back during the Royal Rumble.
That would make sense, and have her win the Rumble and challenge Becky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be a no-brainer right there.
Yeah,
it would happen.
It definitely would. It definitely would. It would be a no-brainer. Why not bring her back to the Royal Rumble? Have her win the Royal Rumble this year, and have her go after Becky Lynch and get that title back. There's SmackDown. The SmackDown Women's Championship to me seems irrelevant. Am I wrong for saying that?
Yeah, the Raw Women's Championship has been here lately. It has. They didn't even defend it on TLC or, it's just, it hasn't been. They haven't built any women's tag teams. They just throw two great singles competitors like Charlotte and Becky to challenge the Kabuki Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They should be building women's tag team wrestling since they have the tag team championships. Charlotte and Becky should be battling for the Raw Women's Championship until Rousey comes back into the fold. But they have those two women wrestling the Kabuki Warriors for the tag team belts, and that shouldn't be what they're doing right now. It shouldn't be that shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. But again, creative, with talent, especially talking about talent, man. I want to mention this with talent. Okay. Did you hear about the new contract signings with talent?
Not a lot, man. There's a few I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen releases.
Yeah, we talked about releases last week, but I'm talking about, I should have been more clear when I said this. Extended contracts. The New Day re-signed, negotiated basically a new 5-year contract. So they're going to be staying with WWE for another 5 years, the New Day. Big E, Xavier Woods, who's still out with the injury. He won't be back probably, till he's going to miss Mania. He won't be back till sometime after Mania. And Kofi Kingston all sign a extended 5-year contract, and about the same with the same pay. The Street Profits, Angela Dawkins and I forget his name, man. The other guy, Freeman, I think his name is Montel Freeman. They signed a 5-year contract, and they're going to be sticking around there for a while. If you were in WWE, Chris, let me ask you this, and your contract's about to come up, and they want to renegotiate, and if there were a deal down for another 5 years of what you'll be making, would you or would you not take it?
Yes, I would. And
yeah.
It all depends on where I'm at in the company, too. It all depends on my emotions at the time and whatever I want to do for my family. But
right.
The New Day, though, the New Day has been red hot in the WWE. They're one of the best tag teams, trios, factions, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, they're well taken care of and should be in the WWE.
Exactly. Street Profits are hot right now. I mean, they were using them quite a bit here and there and stuff. They may be starting using them more here as of lately. We saw them at that backstage segment, which I'm still trying to figure out what the hell happened and why was there a brawl, which they did not explain during the middle of TLC and at the end of Raw, or at the end of SummerSlam, or SummerSlam, not SummerSlam, TLC. See, I'm trying to skip ahead here this year. Yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it. But I guess I'm not trying to. I'm supposed to think of the moment and move on, which I'm pretty much going to move on at this point. But I agree with you. You do what you need to do for your family, and a lot of talent I want to throw out there. For example, Mike Bennett, aka Mike Kanellis, and Maria Kanellis. They were about to leave, but they re-signed an extended contract because they got a family. Maria is expecting her second kid, and they want to do what's right with the income and thinking of their family. I agree. I get that. I know I get back and forth with my nephew at times about talent and stuff. It's like, why go WWE? And just, I mean, if you remember, they just signed Scarlett from Impact. They signed her to NXT, I believe. Yeah, she will start out NXT. She was big and hot in Impact and on the independent wrestling scene. And basically she's signed with them. And why not? AJ Styles wanted, he wants to end his, wrestling career in WWE. Sting came to WWE, ended his wrestling career, Joe in the chat says, what about the rated R superstar Edge? We talked about him earlier. Chris talked about him earlier, but yeah.
Earlier on in the show, yes. Yeah, my prediction is Edge will return at the Royal Rumble. That's my prediction.
Definitely love to see that.
For Edge. And you was mentioning Scarlett Bordeaux.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Her boyfriend, Killer Cross, is released by Impact here lately.
I seen that, man. What a shock.
My prediction for him is he will be in NXT.
I do too. They need to pick his ass up, man. I mean, why would you not? Why would you not? Triple H, you listen to this, man. Why not pick him up, man? Because you got two cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. Why not? Exactly. Pick them up, man. Pick them up. Because you can do so much in the future. You can plan so much. Have you seen Killer Croc on Impact?
I've seen a little bit of his stuff, but
not bad.
I mean, the guy is
not bad.
He isn't bad.
Yeah, it's Scarlett. If I was a 14, 15-year-old teenager, god dang, I would. My room would be flooded with any kind of pictures and posters on my wall. If teenagers still do that, I don't know. Right? I mean,
well, teenagers these days could be in their iCloud or something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree with you right there. Yeah, but talking about superstars. Do you remember Alex Riley? You remember him? He ran around with Edge, or the Miz, excuse me. Seeing Edge. Talking about a lot about Edge. The Miz. Alex Riley, he ended up leaving wrestling shortly after NXT, because he went back to NXT there for a while. The last time he was in the ring was like in 2016, and he wrestled in a match against Shinsuke Nakamura. And then right afterwards, he was basically released. They started doing this big, slow build with him. I remember that. I was like, oh, this is going to be great, because Alex was on commentary for NXT there for a while. And then he got back in the ring and started doing matches. He grew his hair out, grew like a beard, and he was just like more mean. And he was like, he cut.
He looked like a 2000s Triple H almost.
Yeah. The guy's great in the ring, and he was one of those unused, underrated talents. And I know rumors were spinning around about how John Cena buried him. That's why he never did succeed. John Cena didn't want him to succeed, and so they buried him. But that's another story and another, just another.
I don't believe that.
I don't either. I don't. If it came out of Alex's mouth, I would believe it. But I didn't hear anything about that. But pretty much in 2010, 2011, he ran around with the Miz there, and that was a great time for the Miz, being WWE champion. But since then, after he got released in 2016, he pretty much made a transition to life outside wrestling. He's been in movies such as Glassjaw and Motocross, but he was also known, if you watched the first season of Glow, he played the character Steel Horse. If you watched that, he's on there. Yeah. But it looks like...
Yes.
Did you see first season of Glow?
Yeah, I've watched Glow. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, he was on there. That was a great great episode with him on there. It was a defining moment for a character on the show Glow in season 1. But it looks like Alex Riley is actually going to be returning to wrestling in the GCW as Kevin Riley Steel Horse. GCW wrote on her Facebook page that the Steel Horse, quote, "The Steel Horse is no stranger to wrestling fans. He popped up on the scene in the second season. NXT, the competition, spent time protecting half of the It couple, grabbed briefcases and brass rings, and then made Netflix and the super popular TV show Glow his home." Riley posted up on an Instagram that, an image confirming his return to wrestling. And a user commented on it and said, quote, "I know you may not agree, but I feel you should go back to professional wrestling for one more run. Not WWE or NXT, maybe AEW," end quote. And he replied with, quote, "I agree, thank you," end quote. Riley will be returning to GCW, quote, "We Run This Town" event in Tampa, Florida during WrestleMania weekend on March 31st and April 1st. Alex Riley, what are your thoughts on him coming back to wrestling?
I think it's good for him. Wasn't like the biggest fan of Alex Riley, but I mean, he was a good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
I really remember him. He was in season 2 of NXT when they did seasons, when they did the reality type show, and they picked one winner of that show. Wade Barrett was the winner of season 1.
Yes,
and Wade Barrett had a pretty good career. He could have done more in WWE. They could have done a lot more with him. They dropped the ball with Wade Barrett, in my opinion. Alex Riley, but he was the Miz's rookie was Alex Riley, and he was Alex Riley's kind of the guy on the side.
Yeah,
his manager or whatever. I thought all that was really good. Alex Riley, he's a good wrestler. That's all I can really say. Yes, I did see him in Glow, and I remember him in NXT, his last run, just briefly. But him coming back to the wrestling business is good.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be great seeing him come back to wrestling, because that's where basically his strongest point is. That's his strongest point right there, is coming back to wrestling. I'm looking forward to it because, hell, I'd love to see him in AEW. Would you not?
AEW would be a good place for Alex Riley. There's a lot of guys who've been recently let go of WWE who would make, something good there. Alex Riley there, I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, definitely. I've had Joe says on the chat there, he says he loved the Nexus and Wade Barrett. That was a great time. That definitely was a great time there with the Nexus and Wade Barrett. NXT and AEW this week, man. Wow. Wednesday Night Wars, man. I already told you this, but I'm going to mention it. NXT or AEW had the better show this week. NXT had the better show. Who do you think had a better show?
I'll have to agree with you.
NXT?
NXT had the better show.
All right. You want to talk about NXT first or AEW? Let me flip that coin.
We can talk about AEW first.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about what AEW had going on this week here. you had the program open up with the Lucha Bros going up against Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Lucha Bros, dude, they work as a great tag team. You could see it. You could definitely see these guys working as a great tag team, can you not?
I can. I mean, they are pretty good, but, the opener was very fast-paced. I really loved it. Bell to bell, Kenny Omega is one of the best wrestlers in the world, in my opinion. After that fast-paced open, the Lucha Bros tried to do the little hand gestures too much. They tried to do that way too much and slow that good pace that they had. It was just slowed down to a halt. Both teams had good double team moves. The announcers could barely keep up with what the Lucha Brothers was doing at times. I think they need to slow down some. But the Lucha Brothers are a great tag team. Kenny Omega and Page, they're trying to build something between those two guys, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The finish was, Adam Page doing his finisher to Kenny Omega on the, accidental hit. Lucha Brothers pick up the win. This match went too long, too. I remember in the match watching it, JR clearly was surprised that the time limit was 30 minutes. When Excalibur said the time limit is 30 minutes, JR's reaction was priceless. I remember it. It was just like, 30 minutes? He's like, oh, okay, well, these two guys can have a great match. Like, he tried to cover it up, but he was really surprised that the opener was 30-minute time limit.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good match. I mean, JR is a veteran. He knows the TV. He's been on it for years.
Yes.
Probably the hardest man in the... And, I mean, he just knows. But I really like the match. I like watching all four competitors in the ring. I really like the opener. Good opener.
Mm-hmm.
There's some stuff I can nitpick here and there, but a good opener.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great opening match. Yeah, there's some stuff here and there. JR, I want to throw this out here. If you knew this, Chris, do you remember JR when he did the commentary for the English version of New Japan Wrestling?
Yeah.
You know how he did the commentary for that?
Yeah, he would watch the pay-per-view over.
Yeah, he would watch it first time and call the match that way. And he didn't want to know ahead of time what the finish was or anything on the match. So his reaction was emphatic, like organic, natural. So I think that he kind of kept that right there when it was like, 30-minute time limit. It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, yeah, they can get done in 30 minutes. They're gonna be a sloppy knocker. That's how I looked at it.
I really did like that. The ending of the match, I didn't like how they cut to a promo with Neville or whatever.
Pac.
I didn't really like Pac, tomato. I didn't like how they cut to a promo with Paige and Kenny in the middle of the ring facing off, and all the focus on them guys. I didn't like them cutting back to Pac.
Yeah.
I didn't like that, but I wanted to see what Paige and Kenny Omega was going to do.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It was just something I didn't like. I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was kind of like... Fickle. Wasn't it?
I was hoping to see a Kenny Omega heel turn right there.
Joe in the chat said, great opening. Yeah, he was waiting for a huge moment between Paige and Omega. Maybe he'll turn. Yeah. And then you had Pac show up, and then he ruined that right there. He definitely did. He definitely did, man. Yeah. Great opening match. I love the Lucha Bros. They work so good together. They've been working together. You ever notice when you see a tag team, you know how good they are because they've worked together so long? That's Lucha Bros is an example of that right there. Next match, we had Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin teaming up, going up against the Butcher and the Blade. This week, Cody gets Darby Allin to join him on this one. And Cody succeeded. And Darby Allin, they defeated the Butcher and the Blade. With the bunny. I want to throw that out in there, man. With the bunny. How'd you feel about this match?
I really like this. I like this match.
Mm-hmm.
I actually watching Butcher and the Blade versus these two guys. It's a very old school tag team match. You could pick out a clear babyface heel. Cody and Darby took the heat very good. Butcher and the Blade cut the ring in half. I mean, it was just an old school match. Cody hit a tremendous top rope cutter for the win. That's all I can really say about this one. It was a good match. I really enjoyed Cody and Darby teaming up. I thought that worked very well, and Butcher and Blade actually impressed me in the match. I thought it was really good.
Great tag team, man. Great tag team. This new tag team of the Butcher and the Blade, I think it's great. And adding Allie to it as the bunny. Let me ask you, does this remind you of Trish Stratus and Albert and Test?
Yeah, I really don't remember all that, but I do know that the bunny adds a whole nother element to the Butcher and Blade because Allie came in as a baby face. And she's just a whole 180, and it's making her one of the most talked about women in the business right now, being the bunny and Butcher. I hope that it's done really good for her career, and I'm really glad to see it. She's a good talent.
Yeah. Joe in the chat says, yeah, he does like the Butcher and the Bunny, and it was really good, a good guys versus bad guy match, which it was. It definitely was, and yeah, she's done this whole 180, and it's working for her, and I love this. I definitely love this. Awesome Kong went up against Miranda Alassi. Awesome Kong. I'm glad to see her back on TV. How do you feel?
This is how they should have brought Awesome Kong in months ago.
Yeah.
In a squash match instead of her get eliminated in the Battle Royal.
Yeah. Nyla Rose, same thing. I want to throw that in there too, but continue.
This is what they should have done with Awesome Kong. AEW should be building a feud between Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose.
Yes.
And one of their big pay-per-views.
Yes.
They really dropped the ball on Awesome Kong in AEW.
They have.
They should have done this from the very beginning.
Yeah.
And they should have just done it from the very beginning. And I knew what this match was going to be when they said Awesome Kong was in action. I knew on my paper, on my notes here, I didn't even I just put local competitor.
Yeah.
That's what I always squash matches.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a squash. It was just one of those, go get your popcorn and get ready for the next match. And we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Go get your popcorn, go get bubbly.
Little bit of bubbly.
Drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah.
For match number 4 with Jericho and Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I definitely do agree. I wanna say on Awesome Kong, And yeah, they should have. Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose, they should build these two women up as squashing. They should just squash people. Nyla Rose should not be defeated by a little 5'4", buck 25 or buck 5 little Japanese girl. Hell no. I was so mad when at the fire. I have to throw this in here at the Fighter Fest or whatever it was here in Daytona Beach when I watched that when they came to Daytona. And Nyla was in a triple threat match. She lost. Oh, I was pissed. I was yelling, "That's bullshit!" And people were looking at me like I was crazy. I said, "Exactly." I looked at some person. I said, "Exactly. That's bullshit. Someone that size should not be defeated by a freaking person that size." And they looked at me like I was crazy. I think they kind of moved away from me. So I was like, I don't care. But Jungle Boy, dude. First time on television where we had a time limit draw out of a time limit, man. You had Jungle Boy going up against Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. God dang. I hope Marco Stunt is still alive after that damn punch. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, my
overall,
God.
Yeah, overall, I really like the match. Again, clear babyface, clear heel.
Yes.
I really liked the match in the beginning. Really loved it midway through as well. Jericho hit the code breaker and didn't pin him. I really liked that. Very heelish.
Yeah.
Just, acting like he had the bag and just wanted to do more damage.
Right.
I loved it when Lucha Hager brawled on the outside. I really can't wait to see that match.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely got to be Jake's first match in AEW against Luchasaurus.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Really, really good. Really good stuff. Jungle Boy looks good against Jericho. That's what I simply put down in my notes. Jungle Boy and Jericho is a very believable, awesome, match.
It was.
One of my favorite match was when Jericho missed his lion salt and Jericho hits it right afterwards. That's very old school, the guy taking the other guy's finish. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The announcer selling match was great. The announcer selling how Jungle Boy could almost pull it off. I loved at the last minute Jericho putting Jungle Boy in the walls of Jericho. And he didn't tap out for that whole minute. He stayed in it for that whole minute. Very good storytelling in this match.
Yes.
Really enjoyed it.
Yes. And Jericho's reaction after the match, he's like, ring the bell again. 1, 2, kick out. 1, 2, kick out. 1, 2, kick out. And he's like, I'm done. And he grabs the belt and he freaking leaves. It's like...
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too.
Yeah.
Very heel, bad guy stuff. And it's simple.
Yeah.
Give me 5 more. He fires up on Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy tries to win. And, of course, Jericho rolls out and goes to the back. That's what you need to see.
I'm going to have...
Every match has to be a 5-star, 6-star. Let's see how many guy does the biggest spots. A match with a storyline wins every time.
Exactly.
This match had a great storyline, and I really enjoyed it. One of the best matches on the card.
Exactly.
I believe, the best tag team match on the card was Cody and Darby Allin versus Butcher and the Blade.
I love that. I love that tag team match better than the tag team match for the All Elite Wrestling Tag Team Championship match with SCU, where they defeated the Young Bucks.
There's no clear heel or babyface in that match. We don't know if SCU is a heel tag team or a good guy. And Young Bucks are clearly baby faces, but SCU just, I don't know. This match just really, I don't know.
Really did it.
I like, the Revival would be a good tag team for AEW.
Exactly.
For the Young Bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The clear heel tag.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I know I skipped ahead to the main event, but the Britt Baker and Chris Statlander match was fucking awful.
Yeah. Who the hell is this person? Who the hell is this person? I went through out here. Joe said, that's the difference between the two brands. AEW can tell a story much better. Wow, I believe them. And you're like, wow. And Jericho and Jungle Boy told a story the entire match, which they did. Agree. Definitely agree. Yeah, Chris Statlander and Britt Baker match. I don't even want to go there. What do you say?
Yeah, that's the thing about the AEW's women's division. They don't have a good one like WWE does. WWE clearly, primarily, in the past couple of years, have focused on their women's division and that only.
Right.
AEW, since they've started, their women's division has been really weak.
Yeah.
And I believe I think Britt Baker's getting a push because she's friends with Cody's wife, Brandy.
Yeah.
I really think that this is my opinion on Britt Baker. She's a good-looking woman, but she belongs in a freaking the 2008 the Divas division. She does not have the same movesets that these women do now. She can't tell a story. She literally looks greener than freaking grass in that ring.
Right.
She does not look there because, yes, Adam Cole's her boyfriend. Adam Cole needs to be teaching Britt Baker some moves.
Well, maybe he is, but
Britt
it's
Baker?
just not in the wrestling ring. But just sorry.
Not in the wrestling ring, Everett. I get what you're saying. He needs to take that to the wrestling ring and teach her some moves. But I don't know, man. Britt Baker does have a good look. She has a good, character and everything. But her wrestling, then that damn bell has to ring, as Bruce Pritchard says.
Yeah.
That damn bell has to ring. There's good characters sometimes.
Yeah. I know.
Really good characters, and then the damn bell has to ring, and they shit the bed.
Exactly. Match of the night in AEW would have to be the Jericho and Jungle Boy match. That would be the match of the night right there for AEW.
Yeah, everything Jericho does is the best, and I put money on it that Jericho put all that together.
Okay.
And Jungle Boy, my favorite part of the match is when he had him in the walls. And my prediction was, I thought, with 5 seconds left, he was going to tap out.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to tap out. But no, he didn't, and I'm glad they did it that way.
Yeah.
He didn't tap out, and they showed his toughness. This Jungle Boy, and I hate it when fucking fans get mad at when JR says Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I think that's pretty cool.
It is. That's his name. That's who the hell he is. That's who the hell he is right there. That's Jungle Boy. Yeah, Jack Perry. Yeah.
Jim Ross on the cup and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I really like that. And that should be one of the shirts in AEW, not just Jungle Boy Jack Perry. I like that. It's different. And, Jim Ross is still the best announcer, commentator, or whatever in the industry.
He is.
The best right now.
He is. Joe in the chat says...
this match is definitely my favorite. I really enjoyed it. I mean, these guys here lately in all of wrestling putting on 20-minute matches, 25, 30. This match stole the show in 10.
Yeah.
So anybody tell me who's not better than... Anybody in the wrestling business who's better than Chris Jericho, they're lying. Jericho's the best.
He is. That's what Joe says in the chat there. Everett Lee, you're right. Jericho, best still today. And Chris Rose, you can agree with what he just said. NXT, man. We agreed. NXT had the better programming Wednesday night. I mean, damn. You start off the freaking program with the NXT Championship match. You start with the championship match. You end with the championship match. Adam Cole puts his NXT Championship up on the line against Finn Balor. There was times where I thought Finn Balor was going to win this. And then there was times where I thought Adam Cole was going to walk away with it. In the end, Adam Cole was the victor. I want to get your take on this, Chris.
Yeah, Finn Balor and Adam Cole was a good match. It was really back and forth. They told a good story during the match, and in the end, Finn had it won. And I thought he had it won, but then we saw the return of Johnny Gargano beating the crap out of Finn Balor with a chair.
Yes.
Great stuff, solid open. I really thought this match was going to be the main event, but really good match.
Damian Priest went up against Killian Dane. I love how they've been booking Killian Dane, here lately in NXT as a dominant top force. And Damian Priest, man, he's coming into his own there too. How do you feel about this match here, Chris?
I really enjoyed Damian Priest, the way he sold the rib injury throughout the whole match. I really enjoy stuff like that, the little things in matches that makes them great. It made me have sympathy for Damian Priest, a clear baby face, clear heel. And, this match was really good. I really enjoyed it. Damian Priest shows a lot of upside. I really like this match just as much as the opener.
One thing I was surprised about was I did not expect this match to actually. I didn't really think not much of it after both opponents got out there, but I was surprised, man, because damn, Cameron Grimm's going up against Kushida. Chris Kushida. Who the hell is this guy, man?
Cameron Grimes and Kushida put on a great match. Kushida from New Japan. That's where I knew him from.
Yes.
Yeah, really good match. Big fan of both wrestlers, doing really good back and forth action. Kushida hit a really nice dive to the outside, and both guys very well on point with the selling. And, Grimes has one of the best finishers in NXT with the standing foot stomp for the win. Solid match.
This match right here, if I was asleep, it woke me up because I love the spots, just as Chris explained, the suicide dive outside the ring, just fantastic. Fantastic. I was impressed by this match here. I didn't think much of it. It was one of those sleeper matches that wake you up and you're like, wow, I didn't expect that to happen. Am I not right? Am I wrong here, or am I right?
Just one of those matches you didn't think would steal the show, but it did. It was a great match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it definitely stole the match. I mean, stole the show that night. One of the moments that night that when you watch this back, you'll think of this match right here. The next match, you had Io Shirai going up against Santana Garrett. We seen her a few weeks ago on NXT TV. She I can't remember off the top of my head who she went up against, though, but it was great to see her. I got to see her, and I probably mentioned this before, I got to see her wrestle live at a wrestling event here in Florida, and great in-ring talent. She puts on one hell of a match, though, but I expected her to win against Io, but
yeah, Io Shirai is a phenomenal athlete. Santana Garrett is as well. Phenomenal wrestler. It's great that they're pushing Io Shirai the way she is. Does an awesome moonsault to the outside. Great character. Has a lot of athleticism in her arsenal. and can't wait to see what they do with her in the near future.
Travis Banks went up against the bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight. He is a phenomenal talent in the ring. I loved him in the UK tournament that was on the network, the WWE UK tournament, excuse me, and him as the UK champion, the WWE United Kingdom champion. I thought he was like one of the best. What match ended the show here on NXT? What was that?
Yeah, we saw Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler, NXT Women's Championship. Very, very good match. Really loved both competitors in the match. You know, she's held this championship for a long time. Shayna Baszler's held it for a long time. Rhea Ripley has ran through this NXT division like we haven't seen in a long time as far as women's wrestling wise. It was a match built around perfect two competitors. Really good match. Both women had a really good match here. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the title change and to see what happens in 2020 with NXT.
Yeah. I was shocked, dude. I was shocked. And I just didn't know what to expect out of this match. Just didn't know what to expect. Because I didn't expect Rhea Ripley to pull one out and capture the NXT championship, man. I did not expect that. I did not expect that because I was shocked because this match, it went so many ways and stuff. Even with Shayna Baszler's girls, the 4 horsewomen, interfered and got into this match, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because I didn't expect them to interfere like they did and to try to make Rhea Ripley not win the championship. But Rhea Ripley pulled it out, man. And when she won the championship, when they counted 1, 2, 3, I was shocked she beat Shayna Baszler. And I was shocked that they changed the title on a episode that wasn't a pay-per-view, but it was on a televised show. This is why I said NXT is the best show of the week this week. It beat AEW as being the better show.
Yeah, NXT was definitely the better show of the two. Had a lot of good action. Like I said with you, I talked to you earlier on the show. The first 3 matches on NXT was phenomenal. Really good. Really good stuff.
Yes. Yeah, this card tonight, I mean, just Wednesday night was just great. Great. I mean, really, really great. Because I loved it. I loved how Rhea Ripley just with the false finishes, you know, just how she, you almost thought at one point that Shayna Baszler was going to have her submit, you know? What do you think about that? You thought she was going to submit Rhea Ripley, and she came out and pulled one out and just started beating her down with that hot comeback until she hit the riptide and went for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was crazy. Crazy match. Just crazy all around stuff that happened. Yeah, I really can't wait to see what these two women do in 2020. I can't wait to see what the NXT Women's Division does, NXT Men's, all-around show, NXT AEW. Can't wait to see what they do in the upcoming future.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. I definitely can't wait. Now, on a scale, let me throw this out here right before we wrap this up here and ride off into the sunset here. On a 1 to 5 scale, AEW this week.
AEW versus NXT scale 1 to 5. I'd give AEW a 3.5, and I would give NXT a 5. NXT was by a landslide the best.
Okay.
On the show. NXT between the two ended the year out on a bang. AEW won't have another show till January, but by far this year NXT beat them going into the new year.
I hate to say it though, but I agree with you. I definitely agree with you. NXT, I give it a 5, and I give AEW this week a 4. And AEW, anyone who listens to AEW, guys, pull something out next when you come back at the beginning of 2020, please. I want to see you succeed as much as NXT, but come on, make me really want to be glued to the TV this in January. Thank you so much. Well, that pretty much is it for the Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show with Everett Lee and the Chris Rose. Chris, do you have anything you want to add to the show on this closing here before we wrap it up?
It's been one hell of a 2019 for wrestling.
Yes.
And for my life, it's been one hell of a year, and I can't wait to see what me and you, Everett Lee, sir, do in 2020 with this podcast.
Yes.
The Chris Rose will be back full effect in 2020 with his wrestling career. The Chris Rose is still the man. He's still the best, and he's still the face of KCW. The Chris Rose will be back with a bang in 2020. I'm ready for 2020. It's going to be my year. It's going to be our year, sir, on this podcast. I'm really hoping 2020 is our year.
2020 will be our year because that is when we will be back for the Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show. January 2nd, 2020. You will get to hear Everett Lee and the Chris Rose bringing in the new year with a new edition of the Slammin' Thursday edition of the Everett Lee Show. There's some new things to look forward to. A new opening and some new stuff coming your way. I'll talk more with you during the weeks, Chris, about what I have in store. I just wanted to share that. And that's pretty much it. And wow. This is it right now this is the last one for 2020 or 2019. 2020, man, get ready because Everett Lee and Chris Rose is coming at you all the way, baby.
We are. 2020 is going to be.
Yes! 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 Yes!
I had to throw that in there, man. Didn't mean to cut you off.
It's going to be our year, buddy. Slammin' Thursdays. Me and you.
That's right, man.
Woo!
Slammin' Thursdays. We sitting back and
Drinking a little bit of the bubbly.
And looking at matches and stuff. I'm wondering if anybody is.
You know what's going to happen?
You just made the list!
Because
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Because we don't want to come off as
anal.
We don't want to feel like we've.
It looks like I got attacked by gonorrhea.
Because we.
Wolfman's got nards.
And that is the Everett Lee Show, baby. Anything else you want to add before I cue the outro?
I just want everyone to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Chris Rose.
That's right. Let's give a round of applause for that. Everett Lee signing off. Have a good night. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you back here on January 2nd of the Everett Lee Show, Slammin' Thursday, with the Chris Rose and Everett Lee. Have a good night.